Carl Jung discovered a deep truth about narcissists that often surprises people. When they see they can no longer control you, they do not just leave quietly. Instead, they start one last harsh plan that can ruin years of your personal progress in just a few weeks. If you do not see it coming, you will fall right into their trap. But before explaining this final move, it is vital to understand the psychological game that comes before it. Jung believed that what narcissists fear most is not being left alone or ignored. It is the specific moment when their victim becomes psychologically stronger than them. Jung's research on the shadow self showed that narcissists throw their own faults onto other people to keep up an image of being better than everyone else. But once you start to heal, set firm boundaries, and move out of their reach, it sets off something deep in their mind. Jung called this the crisis of power reversal, and what happens next is very disturbing. You see, narcissists do not want love, they want total authority. They need a source of emotional energy to support their weak sense of self. Jung explained that these people act from a big ego, a state of mind that needs to stay in charge to keep their inner emptiness hidden. When you were weak, unsure, or looking for their praise, you perfectly filled their need to feel important. But as soon as you take back your power, trust your own thoughts, and stop asking for their approval, you threaten the very center of who they think they are. That is when they use the weapon Jung warned about. Narcissists, he said, turn to psychological projection warfare once they lose their hold on you. They go beyond simple lying and playing the victim. Instead, they attack your path to becoming your true self. This is how it works and why it is so hurtful. They start by attacking the very strength you have built. Where they once made fun of your weaknesses, they now turn your growth against you. Jung saw this change, noting that they view your strength as the last wall in the way of total control. Suddenly, you will hear things like, "You have changed, and not in a good way. You used to be so nice. Now you are just selfish. You have let success go to your head. You act like you are better than everyone now." And here is the most chilling part Jung found. This is not just a random insult. His study of narcissistic behavior showed that they aim for the exact parts of yourself that you worked hardest to fix. If you have learned to set limits, they will call you heartless. If you found your voice, they will call you aggressive. If you have gained confidence, they will say you are conceited. Jung called this strength shaming, a trick meant to make you feel bad for growing the qualities that set you free. But their most dishonest move is still coming. Carl Jung found that when strength shaming fails, narcissists use something he called nostalgic manipulation. They start talking about a version of you that was easier to lead. They might say they miss how you used to be, or that the relationship was better before you changed. According to Jung, this is a form of mental time travel meant to pull you back into old habits. They are not missing the real you. They are missing the version of you they could boss around. And if you are not careful, you might start to miss that person too. But here is where Jung's ideas get even more troubling. When both strength shaming and nostalgia fail, narcissists use their most powerful tool, which is fake vulnerability. Carl Jung noticed that narcissists are very good at finding your deep kindness and using it to trick you. Just when you are at your strongest, they suddenly seem weak, helpless, or in a total mess. This is the lie Jung warned about, and it is darker than you might think. They will create a fake crisis, a sudden sickness, money problems, family fights, or an emotional breakdown. They will time it perfectly to happen right when you are feeling clear and powerful. According to Jung, this is not an accident. It is on purpose. Jung found that narcissists track what makes you feel guilty, what makes you want to help, and what gets you to let your guard down. They turn your kindness into a weapon against your own recovery. And here is the part that will really hurt your trust. Jung found that narcissists often cause the very problems they want you to solve. They will ruin their own jobs, friendships, or health to create a crisis that makes you feel like you have to step back into their lives. Jung explained that this move has two goals. It pulls you back into being a caregiver, and it proves to them that they still have power over you. But Jung showed something even worse. They do not just want your help, they want you to give up your strength for their comfort. Carl Jung noted that narcissists will specifically ask you to break the rules you worked so hard to make. They will ask for help just this once, even if it goes against your boundaries. According to Jung, every just this once is meant to break down the mental walls you have built. They are not really asking for help. They are testing if you will still put their needs before your own. And if you give in, Jung warned, everything you have worked for could fall apart. Carl Jung explained that the danger of fake vulnerability is how real it feels. The narcissist might actually be in trouble, but Jung found they are experts at choosing which problems to show you and when. They could ask someone else for help, but they choose you because they know you are likely to give up your boundaries for them. So, how can you protect yourself from this final trap? According to Carl Jung, it comes down to what he called differentiated compassion. You can care about someone's pain without feeling like you have to fix it. Jung said the greatest gift of your life is to become who you truly are. So when a narcissist tries to pull you back into old roles, even during a crisis, ask yourself if helping them supports your true self or if it is holding you back. Jung's last discovery about narcissists may change how you deal with others forever. He found that narcissists fear your strength because it shows the growth they gave up in exchange for control. When you choose to stand tall instead of acting small for them, you are not just protecting yourself. You are showing what is possible when someone chooses to be real rather than liked. That is exactly why they will do anything to stop you from succeeding. But here is what Carl Jung wanted you to remember. Every time you say no to them, and every time you keep your boundaries despite their fake problems, you are not just saving yourself, you are proving their power was never real. Jung said that true strength is not about never being tricked. It is about seeing the trick, calling it what it is, and choosing yourself anyway. In the end, their need to control you only shows how powerful you have become. Their last trick only works if you forget what you are worth, but once you see it for what it is, a final attempt to be the boss, you understand that their behavior is the clearest sign that you are free. Carl Jung found that true life starts the moment you are no longer easy to control. No fake crisis, no matter how real it looks, is worth giving up that freedom. Thank you for staying until the end. If this message helped you, please subscribe and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Carl Jung believed that the final stage of breaking free from a narcissist is the most difficult because it requires you to face your own shadow. He taught that narcissists act as a mirror, reflecting back the parts of yourself that you haven't fully accepted or healed. When you finally stop reacting to their games, you aren't just defeating them, you are completing your own journey of individuation. The narcissist will try to make you feel like you are the one who is cold, heartless, or broken. They want you to believe that your new strength is actually a flaw. However, Jung insisted that becoming whole is more important than being good in the eyes of a manipulator. Being whole means you no longer need the narcissist to tell you who you are. You accept both your light and your dark sides, making you impossible to stir with guilt or shame. Once you reach this level of self-awareness, the narcissist loses their supply of energy. Since they cannot face their own inner void, they will eventually move on to find a new target who is easier to influence. Your silence and your firm boundaries are the most powerful tools you have. They serve as a constant reminder to the narcissist that they no longer have a place in your story. Moving forward, your task is to stay grounded in your own reality. The narcissist may continue to tell lies about you to others, but as Jung suggested, what others think of you is none of your business. Your only responsibility is to your own growth and your own peace. By choosing yourself, you break the cycle of control for good and finally step into a life that is truly yours. Jung also pointed out that the narcissist's greatest fear is your indifference. When you reach a point where their anger doesn't scare you and their sadness doesn't move you, you have won. This is the stage of emotional detachment. Jung believed that as long as you are angry at them, you are still connected to them. True freedom only arrives when they become a neutral figure in your mind, someone who no longer has the power to ruin your day or change your mood. He often spoke about the importance of the second half of life, which is a time for finding your true purpose. For many, a run-in with a narcissist is the painful event that starts this process. It forces you to look inward and build a solid foundation that doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion. While the experience is draining, Jung suggested that it can lead to a level of wisdom and self-reliance that most people never achieve. You learn to trust your gut feelings over the words of others. The narcissist's final defeat isn't a loud argument or a public exposure. It is simply you living a happy, healthy life without them. They want to be the center of your universe, whether as a hero or a villain. By focusing entirely on your own path, you deny them the one thing they need to survive, your attention. This is why staying no contact or using gray rock methods is so effective. You aren't being mean, you are simply protecting your inner peace. In the end, Jung's message is one of hope. He believed that the human spirit is meant to grow and expand. A narcissist is like a cage that tries to keep that spirit small. Breaking out of that cage might be the hardest thing you ever do, but it is also the most rewarding. Once you see the world through your own eyes again, you realize that the narcissist was never the giant they claimed to be. They were just a small person hiding behind a very loud mask. Jung also taught that the final victory over a narcissist involves reclaiming your own energy from the relationship. He believed that when we are tied to a manipulator, we leave parts of our soul with them. To truly move on, you must call those parts back. This means stopping the mental habit of wondering why they did what they did, or hoping they will finally change. Jung suggested that seeking an apology from a narcissist is a trap because it keeps you waiting for their permission to be okay. He emphasized that your recovery is a process of becoming indestructible. This doesn't mean you never feel pain, but that your sense of worth is no longer up for debate. When a narcissist can no longer find a crack in your armor to plant a seed of doubt, they lose their purpose. They realize that you are no longer a person they can use, but a person who exists entirely on their own terms. This shift in energy is felt by the narcissist, and it is the moment they truly lose their grip. As you move forward, Jung encouraged people to focus on their future rather than the past. He believed that we are not just what happened to us, but what we choose to become. The narcissist wants you to stay stuck in the story of what they did to you. However, by turning your focus toward your own dreams, hobbies, and new connections, you prove that their impact was only temporary. You turn a story of victimhood into a story of personal triumph. Finally, remember that your ability to feel empathy and love is not a weakness, even though the narcissist tried to use it as one. Jung believed these are the highest human qualities. The goal isn't to become cold like the narcissist, but to become wise. You keep your heart open to the world while keeping your gates closed to those who mean you harm. By doing this, you honor Jung's belief that the most important journey is the one that leads you back to yourself, where you are finally safe, whole, and free. Jung also believed that the true end of this struggle is when you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a survivor who has gained deep wisdom. He taught that everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. When you look back at the time spent with a narcissist, you realize they were a difficult teacher who forced you to build a strength you didn't know you had. You had to learn how to trust your own eyes when they were telling you that you were crazy. You had to learn how to love yourself when they were trying to make you feel worthless. This newfound clarity is what Jung called enlightenment. It is not about seeing bright lights, but about making the dark parts of life clear. The narcissist lives in a world of shadows and lies, but you have chosen to live in the truth. Once you are comfortable with the truth, no lie they tell can ever hurt you again. You no longer feel the need to defend your reputation or explain your side of the story to people who choose to believe the narcissist. You realize that those who truly know you will see the truth, and those who don't are not your concern. The final step is to find peace within your own mind. Jung often said that the most important relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself. The narcissist tried to move into your head and become the voice of your inner critic. Your job now is to evict that voice and replace it with your own kind and steady thoughts. By doing this, you close the door on the past for good. You are no longer waiting for them to be punished or for them to realize what they lost. You are simply too busy enjoying the freedom of your own life to care what they are doing. As you step into this final chapter, remember that your life belongs to you. The narcissist was just a person who tried to steal your light because they didn't have any of their own. Now that you have your light back, you can use it to build a future that is bright, honest, and full of real connections. Jung's work reminds us that while we cannot change the people who hurt us, we have the total power to change how much space they take up in our hearts. You have survived the storm, and now it is time to enjoy the sun. Jung also spoke about the importance of finding your own meaning after a period of darkness. He believed that the spirit cannot be broken by a narcissist unless we give up on our own soul. The path to final recovery is about building a life that is so full and honest that the narcissist simply does not fit into it anymore. They are like a ghost that can only live in a house of secrets and fear. Once you fill your house with truth and self-respect, the ghost has to leave. Jung suggested that we should not spend our lives looking back at the wreckage. Instead, we should look forward to the person we are becoming because of what we survived. He noticed that narcissists often try to return when they see you are happy. This is because they are drawn to the light they cannot create for themselves. Jung warned that this is the final test of your growth. When they reach out with a fake apology or a new crisis, you will realize you no longer feel the pull to save them. You will see their actions as a desperate attempt to stay relevant. At this stage, you don't even need to be angry anymore. You simply feel a sense of calm because you know their games can no longer reach you. You have moved into a higher level of awareness where their tricks look small and predictable. The final victory is realizing that you are the author of your own story. The narcissist tried to write a script where you were the weak character, but you have taken the pen back. Jung believed that the most powerful thing a human can do is to say, "I am." When you can stand alone and be happy with who you are, the narcissist's power is officially dead. You have turned their poison into medicine by using the pain to find your true strength. This is what Jung meant by the transformation of the self. You are not just back to who you were before you met them. You are someone much wiser and more grounded. This concludes the journey through Jung's insights on surviving narcissistic control. It is a path that starts with confusion and ends with total freedom. The narcissist may never change, but that doesn't matter because you have changed. You have learned that your worth is not something that can be given or taken away by another person. It is yours forever. You can now walk forward with your head high, knowing that you have faced the shadow and come out into the light. Your life is finally your own, and that is the greatest success of all. Jung also taught that true healing comes when you stop looking for justice from the narcissist and start finding it within yourself. He believed that expecting a person without a soul to understand the pain they caused is like asking a blind person to describe colors. Instead of waiting for them to admit they were wrong, Jung encouraged the act of moving on as the highest form of self-love. You realize that their inability to see your value was never a reflection of your worth, but a limit of their own broken sight. He observed that once the narcissist is truly gone from your life, a space opens up for what he called synchronicity. These are meaningful coincidences that happen when you are finally on the right path. You might meet new people who value you, find new opportunities, or suddenly feel a creative spark that was buried for years. Jung believed these moments are the universe's way of confirming that you are no longer living a lie. The energy you used to spend managing the narcissist's moods is now free to build a world that actually belongs to you. The very last step in this psychological journey is the death of the narcissist's influence over your future choices. You no longer pick friends or partners based on the fears they planted in you. You stop double-checking your every move to see if it would make them angry. Jung described this as reaching a state of unshakable inner center. From this center, you can look at the past with a sense of peace, knowing that every tear and every moment of doubt was a stepping stone toward the person you are today. You are now the guardian of your own peace. This final part of the process is about celebrating your survival. You have done the hard work of looking into the dark and finding your own light. You have escaped a trap that many never even realize they are in. Jung's wisdom reminds us that while the narcissist tried to make your world small and fearful, the reality is that the world is wide and full of beauty. You have the right to explore it, to be happy, and to never look back. Your journey has changed from one of survival to one of pure, limitless potential. Jung also believed that the real test of your freedom is when you no longer feel the need to tell your side of the story. He taught that a person who is truly at peace with themselves does not need to prove anything to the world. The narcissist will likely continue to spread lies and try to ruin your name to anyone who will listen. Jung called this the smear campaign, but he noted that it only works on people who are not living in the truth themselves. By staying silent and living well, you let the narcissist's own actions reveal who they really are over time. He emphasized that your life should now be focused on integration. This means taking the lessons you learned from the pain and using them to become a more complete human being. You are now more aware of red flags, more protective of your heart, and more certain of your values. Jung believed that the scars left by a narcissist are not signs of weakness, but marks of a person who has traveled through the underworld and returned with wisdom. You have traded your old, fragile innocence for a new, strong type of wisdom that can never be taken away. The narcissist stays stuck in a loop, repeating the same toxic patterns with every new person they meet. They are trapped in a prison of their own making. You, on the other hand, have broken the cycle. Jung's message for this final stage is to stop looking at the prison doors you just walked through and start looking at the open road ahead. You have reclaimed your time, your mind, and your future. The narcissist was just a shadow in your path, and as you continue to move toward the sun, that shadow naturally falls behind you. This is the true end of the psychological battle. It is the moment you realize that you are not just okay, but that you are better than you were before the struggle began. You have discovered an inner strength that is solid and real. Jung's teachings remind us that while we cannot avoid every storm, we can learn how to build a ship that no storm can sink. You are the captain of that ship now, and you are free to sail wherever you choose. Your story is no longer about what was done to you, but about the incredible life you are building now. Jung also suggested that the final part of your recovery is the return of your creativity and joy. He believed that narcissists act as a heavy weight on the soul, making life feel gray and dull. When you are finally free, the world begins to show its colors again. You start to remember the things you loved before the narcissist tried to change you. This is not just about feeling better. It is about reclaiming the parts of your personality that you had to hide just to stay safe. Jung called this the rebirth of the self, where you finally give yourself permission to shine without fear of someone else's shadow. He noted that narcissists often feel a sense of narcissistic rage when they see you doing well without them. They want to believe that you are nothing without their guidance or control. However, Jung taught that your happiness is the ultimate proof that their power was an illusion. You are now living in a way that they can never understand. While they are busy looking for their next victim to use, you are busy building a life based on truth, meaning, and real connections. You have moved from a place of fear to a place of pure possibility. The very last step is to stop waiting for a conclusion from the narcissist. They will never give you the closure you want, because keeping you confused is their last way of staying in your mind. Jung's advice was to create your own closure. You do this by deciding that the story is over because you have nothing left to learn from it. You stop looking for answers and start living your own life. You realize that the best way to handle a narcissist is to become so healthy and happy that you simply don't have a reason to think about them anymore. This marks the true completion of your journey. You have turned a period of great suffering into a foundation for a powerful future. Jung believed that those who have faced the darkest parts of the human mind and survived are the ones who can truly help the world. You carry a light that has been tested by the wind and did not go out. You are no longer a victim of a narcissist, but a person of great depth and character. Your path is clear, your heart is your own, and you are finally ready to live the life you were always meant to have.